Welcome, everybody. This is Sarah Snell-Cook, your host of the Credit Union Connection. We're here live at Money 2020. Sitting here today with David Dowhan. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
nice to be here.
Yeah, and he is the Chief Product Officer at SavvyMoney. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and the company?
Sure. So, Chief Product Officer, been here about 3.5 years, and formerly from TransUnion. So I got some financial service experience at TransUnion. But JB, the CEO, we've been in contact for, 20 years in financial services, and we finally found an opportunity to work together. So what I really love about SavvyMoney is it started as a smaller company, but it's grown to over 1,500 banks and credit unions we work with today. But working in that space, particularly with some of the banks and credit unions, you get a feeling like you're actually helping people day to day. So that's the bonus of the job. Like you can help companies be profitable and grow, but you can also help people every day. And my team's responsible for customer service, and so we get emails from people that say, hey, because you helped me understand my credit score, I was able to afford that house, or I was able to save money for my kids' college. That really has an incredible impact on just being a human.
Right,
to know that you can really help people with a solution. So that's why I'm excited to be here.
Both of our credit unions use you guys.
Yeah, good. So you get a first-hand experience.
I do get a first-hand experience. Good. Your credit score is this every month. And which is very helpful too, I imagine, especially my kids who use.
Absolutely.
They don't know what, they know what I've told them about credit, but until you're in it, you don't know.
That's right.
So anyway, you guys did some recent research, speaking of Gen Zs, about their usage and their financial situation. Talk a little bit about what you guys found.
Sure. So a great study. We surveyed about 1,000 or so Gen Zs, and really just asked them some of their perspectives on financial wellness and their goals and what have you. And really at the top line, what we found is that Gen Z is very motivated to be financially independent. They want that, right? They don't want to live off their parents' dime, etc. They really want to get out there and make their own financial independence. But the challenges they're having are a couple of fold. One, it's really a gap in knowledge and education. So they have these goals, and in fact, the survey showed that almost 90% of Gen Zs, they actually have financial goals, right? But they're just not sure how to achieve them.
Exactly.
And so there's a big gap in the education. There's a big gap in the knowledge there, and so there's this thirst for how do I learn more about it, right? And again, in the U.S. in particular, I don't think we do a great job of financial education. People come out of school, and you know more how to name
the states,
the
states,
capitals, but you don't really know exactly credit, how it works. And so what we heard from Gen Z, given they want to be digital, right? They like that digital immersion. They don't want to walk into a branch and have an hour discussion with someone. Right? They want it to be in front of them, accessible. And they don't want to be marketed to. They want education. They don't want marketing.
Right.
And so part of what we've done at SavvyMoney is kind of make education almost a little bit gamified, right? So simulators where you can click buttons and see what happens to your credit score if you do actions, right? So it's all geared around how do we make it entertaining, but at the same time educational.
Right.
And then the offers, the opportunities that are available to them are embedded inside of the application.
Exactly.
So instead of saying hey, you should get a car loan, we'll say, hey, we discovered based on your personal profile, our credit union can save you maybe $50 on your monthly auto payments. Are you interested? Right?
Yep.
So that's the other thing that we saw is many of them, over 60, I think it was 68%, really want a personalized experience. Talk to me as an individual. There's so much financial education available online, but it tends to be more generic.
Yes.
What they really want is tell me about me and my situation. Right? At SavvyMoney, because we've been privileged to have access to very personal data, credit records, we can actually give them tailored advice that is specific to them. That's really key. That's what they're looking for.
Right. It's personalization is no longer putting their name at the top.
That's right. That's right. It's almost personalization of one, right? It's kind of individualization, really. It's kind of what we're shooting for.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the other thing is, though, that and this is what shocks me about Gen Zs not using credit unions, is they hate fees. They really hate fees, according to the research. So anyway, what is your take on that? Because, like I said, credit unions don't generally have a lot of high fees and stuff. So where do you think credit unions can maybe do better at letting people know that? We can even do that probably through your app where you can put the information in there.
Sure. And so, yeah, SavvyMoney, historically, we've really focused on existing members, right?
Yeah.
We do have some member acquisitions, but I think it's a good point, right, from a differentiation perspective. And so, really, the part that we play is really giving our banks and credit unions, like we're a little bit like their outsourced fintech partner, right? So that everyone sees those great experiences that the big banks are able to create. We do that for our partners, right? We're the tech partner that makes that happen. And so that's a key component for the Gen Zs. They want that slick, easy, click experience. We make that happen without taking up any of the tech resources that our partners, right? On the flip side, to your point, we create an environment where our members can, or banks and partners can create their own marketing within that, the value proposition. And so I think it's a great idea to focus not only on the tech side, but also on what's in it for me. There's no low to no fees, easy access, etc. So I agree with that.
Yeah, and I assume AI has probably made that a lot different for you all, a little easier maybe. Can you talk a little bit about how y'all are using it?
Sure. I mean, we just did a roundtable about 40 of our banking and credit union partners. We had a discussion about AI, and there's a lot of interest in AI in the industry, but there's also a little bit of trepidation, right? Given the compliance, given the regulatory framework. And so at SavvyMoney, we really focused on AI, not to just do AI, but to actually making sure that we're creating value, right? So for example, we have SavvyMoney created an internal application for our customer service team. They get thousands of questions from members every month. It says, hey, my credit score went down. Like, what happened? Like, help me understand. It's a really complicated answer sometimes. To look at like, oh, you missed this payment. And so historically, my team has taken them maybe 20 minutes to like research that. With an internal chatbot we created, we've got that down to about 30 seconds. So they can read the information, verify it, and then give the user a good response. So where we're going with this with SavvyMoney is that's going to start to become embedded inside of the application itself. So members can actually can pull up that information themselves, type in questions, and get answers that are personalized to them based upon their data. What's interesting, though, is we have an obligation to protect all that data. So nothing goes outside in the cloud, doesn't get shot out there. And because, like I said, the users and members have entrusted us with that data, we have an obligation to protect it. Right? So that's we're being cautious about that and kind of slowly rolling it out, but there is a big need for that kind of data.
Yeah, and there's so many ways to use that data. One of yesterday there was on stage the 7 largest credit union CEOs, and I thought it was very interesting. The very first thing they all talked about was financial wellness. It probably made you're like, I'm going to go talk to them now. And so I think too, there is an opportunity there for credit unions of all sizes to, like in the political scheme of things, where a lot of the bankers are saying, oh, you guys are just like us now, so you should be taxed. But then financial wellness, not that it's not at the heart of a lot of bankers, but so I think more so because the credit union's not-for-profit status, it helps them be more. I mean, do you see a difference in how credit unions are using your product versus banks, or?
Sure, and so I think some of it gets into the core value proposition, right? And so I would say that many of the credit unions discover SavvyMoney because of the financial wellness component, so they're excited about that. And we've done a lot of great work in financial wellness, including last month we launched a DTI education module. I think we're the first in the industry to actually talk to users and members about debt to income and what it means and why it's important. Right? It's probably the second most important number that you have. You have your credit score and your DTI. That's really important, right? And so they look to us to help educate the members. So credit unions kind of start with that perspective. Candidly, the banks have an interest in financial wellness, but they're very interested, of course, in the offers and the cross-sells.
Right? Sure.
And so, depending upon if we're talking to a bank or credit union, the conversation might be led with one thread or the other. But ultimately, look, there is an ROI here. The credit unions do benefit from their ability to generate more loans through SavvyMoney without having to pay for the acquisition of those. They get a lot of native loan flows, which helps pay for the program.
Oh yeah, so direct loans are the best.
Absolutely. So there's definitely a synergy there, right? So regardless if your primary motivator was more loans or financial wellness, like they do kind of support each other, those goals. They're not really mutually exclusive.
Right.
So, but I would say banks and credit unions maybe start from a different place, but they all end up at the same place, which is financial wellness, great data, and then grow my loan and deposit portfolio.
Right. And that's the next question. Deposits right now, they've been liquidity's been tight for I don't know, 4 years at least.
Yes.
And so, is there a way that you all help credit unions with that on that side, and obviously the members too?
Very much so. Very much so. And so, so we made a recent acquisition. We bought a company called CreditSnap, and CreditSnap does what I'll call kind of loan and deposits workflow orchestration. It's a fancy way to say we create a user experience, and then we plug in various vendors to kind of make it seamless for the consumer. So in SavvyMoney, we can market and promote to a user or a member. Hey, there's this, a CD, a 6-month CD, you get a little calculator. Oh, I'm interested. I'd like to try that. Users can then click yes, start it, and then we have the technology now with our CreditSnap acquisition to do the entire workflow from figuring out which account they want, looking at the core to see which accounts they're eligible for, actually setting up any kind of KYC workflows, document signing, as well as actually funding through ACH the account and opening it in the core.
Yeah.
So that CreditSnap acquisition has allowed us to play a much bigger part in not just marketing and promoting the deposits, but actually turning it into an actual live account on the bank. So that automation workflow is a key part of our strategy going forward. So the vision overall is everywhere from start with financial education, right? And the marketing of the offers at the top of the funnel, but then create a very seamless path for those members and users to take advantage of those offers and actually book the accounts directly, all digitally, which is what Gen Z is looking for. Frankly, it's what many people are looking for.
Yes.
They want to
Gen X, we don't like people.
Exactly. You want it to be frictionless, right? You want it to take a couple of minutes. You don't want to spend 45, 50 minutes, right, opening a CD. If we can make it down to 3 or 4 minutes, great, I'm in.
Yeah, the last car loan I got, it took forever.
Yeah.
So with the lending the way it is too, it's interesting how you were talking about it. It's all right there for the member.
Yes.
And the credit education too.
Yes.
But then of course, while credit unions may focus on the member experience first, they do have to make money.
Absolutely.
It's not for profit, not profit.
Yes.
And so, what kind of increases? Do you have any data on like what your members are actually experiencing as far as like they had a 20% deposit increase on average or whatever?
Right. Yeah. So I don't have those numbers off the top of my head. But I know from an ROI perspective, like the traditional, when we do some of the ROI modeling, most of our partners are able to kind of pay for the solution in about 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Right? Get all of their kind of, money back, so to speak, in terms of how much they're paying for the credit score solution. Yeah. So I apologize. I get back to you in terms of the facts and figures, like what it exactly is. But we do see, like that is one of the key value propositions. We do see a market boost in deposits, and they're like, and loans, and they're saying we didn't have to pay any acquisition costs.
We didn't do anything.
It's organic. It's organic.
Exactly.
It's just happening, right, through the marketing that we're doing.
Right. Yeah. So I always allow my guests final thoughts. What would you like to leave our credit union audience with?
Final thoughts. I would say, look, I mean, there's a lot of competition out there, a lot of fintechs, right, that are kind of at the gates, right, big entry deals. The superpower of the credit union is the ability to connect with people and actually have that empathy and care with people as people, right?
Yes.
Do not lose that.
Right.
That is a superpower of credit union. It's the fact that you do care and you do help people. People remember that, right? And if you're able to take someone who's maybe not quite financially where they want to be and you bring them up, you're going to have a customer for life.
Right.
And so do not lose that superpower.
Right.
On the flip side, do not ignore the fact that emerging technology like AI and the fintech, it's here. Like you have to react and kind of adopt those technologies or you will get left behind. So keep your superpowers, but also make sure that you have an eye towards the tech that's moving very quickly.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Great to see you.